hailed the Salvation Army band, followed them across the land. We cried for crowded streets full of garbage men. They seemed to save us with the galleon trucks that shine just like the first time we fell in love, but it'll never feel the way it was when we were kids again. So this angry war that lights the moon and strikes your heart with a silver spoon. Extermination plan from June is the music of your favorite tune. This country's dead, Maria, come on, let's go dancing tonight. But if you wanna feel the Holy Ghost, then join the band and burn your clothes, 'cause the last great hope of rock and roll ain't some Barbie doll on a stripper pole. And I know every word to your first CD, and I wouldn't marry you tonight on them streets of Galilee. So desperately kiss my face like you're from another time or place, a memory I cannot seem to trace at all. Triumph that you pull back into town like the circus, and what a juggling clown, a fighter for a critically acclaimed artist who can't even draw. So light one up for me and say I saved you from another day of petty lies and gutless folks who steal from you to give you hope. I get the feeling nowadays there ain't nothing left to say. So let's load the cannons to fire so far we'll hit outer space from inside my car, 'cause we all used to dream so hard, but nowadays we're all too sick and tired. I've cried so much, my dear, the tears are like a sea. There's a ship we can ride across on them streets of Galilee. So long to get blowed up, but maybe when we finally go, MTV will show some videos and apologize for all their shows. Wish they tried a little harder to find something cool. I guess I don't really watch TV, but I know I would if I could see a beat poet laughing at misery, just like it's 1963. And baby, you gotta know, I loved you even way back then. Yes, take my hand and have a beer. Oh, Milwaukee's having one hell of a year, and I promise to hold you up, my love, so you can see the singer take his drug. I have not felt so good since 1993. That was the year of Kurt Cobain, Snap Bracelet. When I was a kid, I grew up in a little town in Ohio. My mom used to pick me and my sister up from school every day. And when she would play one of two tapes in the car on the way home. The first tape she would sometimes play was called the Blue Beatles tape. The other tape she would sometimes play was called the Red Beatles tape. And it was awesome, man. I got way into the Beatles. I dug John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Ringo, what's his name, all that stuff. And I tried to take the tapes up to my room and learn how to play guitar to them and try to be like those guys, but I could never get my hair to look right, so I had to give it up. But That's all right. I'm happy with how I turned out. I'm like what Steve Earle would call an indigo boy. But anyways, I started off playing guitar like what I'm doing here today, playing acoustic guitar, just like this. And when I was listening to those Beatles records, man, I learned there was this whole other kind of guitar that you could do called the electric guitar. And when you did that one, the stuff that happened was a lot cooler. For example, you might be playing some acoustic guitar and somebody might come up to you with, like, say, a clipboard and say, hey man, you want to help me plant this tree, or we could save some whales together, or something cool like that. But you play that electric guitar, boy, the beer's free, chicks are taking their shirts off, the whole deal is a lot cooler. So I decided, man, I want to do that. And I went down to this thing called the Ohio State Fair that had this guy playing there I never heard of before called the Motor City Madman. That's how it was built. And being as we were living in the age of technology, I looked him up on the internet and I found a picture of Ted Nugent. He was wearing like a headband and a loincloth, and he had like a crossbow in his hand, and I just thought, man, this is the guy I need to see right here, man. Looks like a guy that could teach you a thing or two, you know? So I went down to the Ohio State Fair and I saw Ted Nugent play, and it was awesome. He did Cat Scratch Fever. He did all the hits. And then he came back and he did this really weird song called Moron, which was basically a song where that guy would just sing about different people that he thought were morons, and then one by one his road crew would bring out a life-size cardboard cutout of each and every individual he was singing about, and he'd shoot him through the heart with a flaming crossbow in front of everybody. At 17, I was like, damn, when did ignorance become a point of view? But my brothers and sisters, I'm not telling you this story today to take Uncle Ted down or nothing like that, man. He's out there hunting and driving around his golf cart and doing whatever he does, and that's awesome. You should do whatever you do, so long as it does not hurt anybody else. I believe that. These are some strange times we're living in. And now as good a time as ever to start yourself what my friend Kevin would call a revolution. And I'm not talking about the kind of revolution where you need to shoot a flaming arrow at a piece of cardboard in front of some people to get your point across. I'm talking about the kind of revolution you can start at home, in your own bedroom, with a couple rock and roll posters on your wall and a 6-pack of Mickey's Big Mouth. That's how we used to do it back in the day, back in Ohio, where I'm from. I was out to dinner the other night with some friends of mine from Ohio. We were all just sitting around the table. Nobody was saying anything. They were just text messaging away to each other. I felt left out. I said, excuse me. I got up, went next door to the pawn shop, bought a typewriter, wrote them all a letter. Dear friends, if you're gonna listen to Ted Nugent, you gotta stick to the early stuff. On them streets of Galilee. Oh yeah, on them streets of Galilee. Alright. Thanks for listening to me.